What's going on? We are here. We are going to be predicting the Bengals 2026 season. Starting off with the Buccaneers game, I think they lose this game. I think the Buccaneers will be a solid team like they have been the last few years. I think their head coach might hold them back, but I do think the Bengals win this game. But they continue their losing streak. They lose the next three games, in all honesty. I think Houston's going to be a very good team. Their defense is good. I think CJ Stroud will recover. I think honestly, in the AFC North, it's basically just splitting with Pittsburgh and Baltimore. That's basically how it is. As you can already probably see, I already probably put Baltimore's on there, just given the fact that they have already split the Baltimore game. So I've already done Baltimore's. In Jaguars, I think Jaguars are going to be pretty good, but they do get their first win of the season against Miami, and then they get a quick and easy bye to the Ravens, which we already have them losing. So they start out very poorly, which is not anything too crazy for the Bengals. But they do manage to win back-to-back games after that, as they do beat the Tennessee Titans and the Atlanta Falcons. Those are two matches I think they could very easily win. The Falcons could be a harder one. I think the Titans are still going to be not great. I think they're still a couple of years away from being a true contender, a true competitor. And I think the Falcons as a whole, they are a tough team to judge. They have a ton of talent on offense. Defense, not quite as much, but still a decent bit of talent. It just really depends on how well they're coached and how well they perform overall and how healthy they stay. Because Penix doesn't stay healthy, they're not going to be that great. I do think they also win against Pittsburgh. Like I said, the Baltimore Pittsburgh series, those are always just going to be splits, in my opinion. I feel like the three better teams in this, Cleveland could also manage to get a game off of any of these teams, but I do think Cleveland's going to be very good this year. So we'll get to the Cleveland games. We'll see if I have them winning these ones, but I do think they beat Pittsburgh. So they actually rattle off three straight wins to battle back to 4-5. Washington, I think, is another L. I just don't trust the Bengals. Have no defense. If Burrow gets hurt at any point, this season is kind of over. I think Washington is pretty solid. I think they had a bit of a down year last year. I think they can recover. I think they will be a decent team, maybe not a great team, but a decent team this season. The Saints, I do believe they beat the Saints though, so they're going to be floating right around this 500 range coming down to the stretch, which means they will be a team I think could be in the playoff hunt. They're going to be right on the edge of that playoff hunt. The Saints, again, there's some young talent there, but I just don't know if they're quite there. They also beat Cleveland. I think that's pretty easy. I believe this battles them back to 500. I think that's 6-6 at this point. Cleveland, I don't see them being good. When we do our Cleveland Brown one, you will see I do not have high expectations on the Cleveland Browns. I think they are a very mediocre team at best, and I think they're going to lose this game here. They do lose to Kansas City, though. I don't think their defense can beat Kansas City. Obviously, Burrow owned Kansas City for years, and this is going to be in Cincinnati, but I just don't see that defense holding out against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I just cannot see it happening. The Chiefs are still going to be really good this year, just like they have been the last few years. And the Bengals, in my opinion, are very mid. They do win the Carolina Panthers game and the Indianapolis Colts, so they're now one game over 500. And like I said, we have them splitting Baltimore, so we'll just add that in there too. They win all three of these. The Panthers, I think, are still getting kind of mid. I don't think Bryce Young is quite the option. For Indianapolis, I mean, Daniel Jones, I don't know. Was he a one-year wonder? They're going to be a hard team to completely know overall. In Baltimore, like I said, I think they're splitting almost all their division series, except for the Cleveland game, where I do honestly think they do win the Cleveland game. This game will matter more for the Bengals in Cleveland. Cleveland's probably really just going for a draft pick. I mean, they're talking about just starting Deshaun Watson again, which makes zero sense to anybody that's not paying him all the money he's getting paid. That's pretty much the only reason he's in that mix. But overall, they do finish off pretty hot, winning the last four. They were what, one game under 600, 500 when they win that. So they do finish it out really well. They do get to, what is that? 10-7, so very solid position. They don't win the division, as Baltimore's gonna have a better record than them, as we already know. And maybe Pittsburgh will as well. We'll have to see when I do theirs. But if you guys enjoy this type of content, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.